The crowd is roaring, the cameras are flashing, the clock is ticking down. A young team, written off by nearly everyone, stands just one game away from making history. The Indiana Fever, a team that no one believed would even get this far, are now on the brink of the WNBA Finals. Sounds like a fairy tale, doesn't it? But there's a twist in this story, one so shocking that it almost doesn't seem real. Because even if the Fever win tonight, even if they shock the world and reach the championship round, their brightest star, Caitlin Clark, will not be allowed to play. Yes, you heard that right. She can't step on the court, not even for one final shot, not even for a single second in the finals. And the reason why is both heartbreaking, and a rule most fans don't even know exists. But let's rewind for just a moment. The Indiana Fever should not be here, not by the numbers, not by the expert predictions, not by the struggles they faced all season. This team crawled into the playoffs as the number 6 seed, their backs against the wall. They were short-handed, missing key players, and facing off against the defending champions, the Las Vegas Aces. Nearly everyone predicted the Aces would sweep them aside. But game after game, the Fever refused to back down. They fought, they clawed, they stayed alive. And now here they are, one win away from a storybook ending. If they defeat the Aces tonight, they'll advance to face the Phoenix Mercury in the finals, a showdown nobody saw coming. But here's the cruel irony. The star who carried them, the player everyone wanted to see spotlighted on the biggest stage, Caitlin Clark, will have to watch it all from the sidelines. You might think it's her injury. And yes, Caitlin Clark's groin injury back in July was serious. She officially announced on September 4th that her season was done, a decision that broke the hearts of Fever fans everywhere. But here's what stings even more. Even if she had healed, even if she was suddenly 100% ready to play, she would still not be allowed to join the finals. Because according to WNBA rules, once a player is left off the active roster for the playoffs, they are ineligible to return at any time during that postseason. The decision is final. No exceptions. So when the Fever handed in their roster without Caitlin Clark's name, they locked the door on her participation, even if a miracle recovery had happened. And that's exactly the case for other teammates too, like Sydney Colson, Ari McDonald, Sophie Cunningham, and Chloe Bibby. Season-ending injuries meant being ruled out for good. This isn't a coaching choice. This isn't a medical decision. It's the rule book. A rule that suddenly feels very, very painful when you apply it to one of the game's brightest stars. Think about it for a moment. Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation everyone's been talking about all season, who filled stadiums and turned casual fans into die-hard supporters, who brought new eyes to women's basketball, is now sitting in plain clothes on the sidelines while her teammates fight for glory. She can cheer, she can shout, she can support them in the locker room, but she cannot touch the basketball, cannot feel the final spotlight, cannot change the outcome. And as fans, that hurts. It hurts to imagine the most watched, most anticipated finals in recent years, without Caitlin Clark on the floor. Still, if we peel back the layers of heartbreak, what we're left with is maybe even more beautiful. Because this story isn't about one player, it's about a team. The Fever have already done what no one thought they could. They've won 4 playoff games so far, the most by any underdog team since the Chicago Sky in 2021, a team that went on to defy all odds and win the championship. That memory still echoes in the league. Sometimes being the underdog is the secret ingredient to greatness. And now, the Fever are chasing that same unlikely dream. Imagine the pressure tonight. Game 5, a do-or-die moment. The defending champions hungry to reclaim their throne. The young challengers desperate to write their names into history. Every dribble, every whistle, every point could tip the balance. And somewhere on the sideline, Caitlin Clark, just 23 years old, watches and believes in her team, even though she can't help them on the floor. There's something powerful in that image, almost cinematic. If the Indiana Fever pull off the miracle tonight, history will be made. Without Caitlin Clark playing a single minute in the finals, think about the headlines. Think about the shockwaves. Think about the conversations this will spark. The Fever, winning despite every obstacle, despite losing their best-known star. It's the stuff that sports dramas are made of. A story bigger than just basketball. And maybe, just maybe, that's the point. This isn't the story of one superstar. It's the story of a team who refused to give up when everyone counted them out. Caitlin Clark's name may not be on the finals roster, but her impact is everywhere. Her leadership, her fire, her belief, that doesn't vanish because of a rule. It lives on in the way her teammates battle, in the way the Fever keeps surprising the world. Sometimes the greatest athletes inspire not by playing, but by showing us how to endure disappointment with grace, and how to lift up those around us, even when they can't shine themselves. So here's what makes this story unforgettable. If the Fever go to the finals without Caitlin Clark, the world won't just remember her absence. They'll remember the unbreakable spirit of a young team that fought through everything. And that, my friends, is how legends are born.